Seth got the waves.
Yeah. They don't know the truth, so they study. Run up on a nigga, now he blasting. No show, I need a fall for the miners. Only riding with the soldiers and the mighties. Break free and you gon' die like the last day. We don't get fazed by the traffic. We just want fame and a mansion. Money only evil in the last days. No peace for the beast. So if I gotta fight just to breathe, let it be. My people still caged, not free. Living in the land of greed, so I don't need a reason to bleed. And before I go, I'll leave. A friend of an upper enemy, let me speak. See, I know you ain't real, you a leech. How you say you practice what you preach, and my brother's still dying in the streets, yeah. If you want smoke, you can have it. Running from the class A bandit. And we gon' use force like your man did. And a killer, but my niggas stay active. No, it ain't passion. When you hear me scream, fuck the system. You can keep it cold, I ain't a victim. And if you ain't involved, keep your distance. I can never kick it with a snitch. The runner said he got his first shipment in. Now we doing chemistry in kitchens. Tell him stay persistent. Hey, yeah, this is the day of the resistance. Cruel and vicious. I know you hear me, you ain't listening. My dog thought he had time, but he didn't. Died in an instant. I'ma be the greatest. Took a L, but we going through some phases. And I was born broke, so this money couldn't change it. Did it on my own, fuck a payslip. Till everybody eating, I ain't made it. They tired of me preaching but insane shit. Just a bunch of old faces, stuck up in the 80s, ready for the darkest phases. Cool, we been to the darkest places. See the fire in my eyes still blazing. I wish a lame would try aiming. Yeah. Just let me speak. Just let me speak, yeah. I'ma be the, yeah. Took it out, we going through some phases. This money couldn't, did it on my own, fuck it. Just let me speak.
I need true name.
Blessed love, blessed love, blessed love, beautiful people. Right, so I ain't even sure if I'm getting mods tonight. I don't know what's going on because I've been away a long time and I haven't been promoting whatsoever. But I thought, let me come on, let me put something out there that is going to be able to update everybody. And next week we are back as usual with a case, and we're going to be on there. Hey, blessed love, my sister. Very few of us on today, but I expect it. I actually wanted, I'm supposed to have changed my background actually. I actually wanted to, let me change my background. Let me do that actually, because there's something I wanted to do and it wasn't quite working out. So I said I was going to do it virtually. Let me do that. 1 second, guys, as usual. Hang on a second. Right, now that should make a difference, but it's actually made the picture very blurry now. But I don't mind. I wanted to actually go live from the beach today, but the Wi-Fi thing down there, it wasn't working out. And I've had to do it this way instead. So we've changed the background. We are still on the beach. That's what's going on. And yeah, we're just going to do it that way. It's a quick update, guys. Literally, blessed love people, blessed love Sharon Phipps, JJ, Celine B. We don't know where my mods are tonight, but as I said, I have not prepared for this live in any way, shape or form. It's literally been like, Afua, you've been away too long. People are DMing you. What's going on, Afua? Here I am. So that's kind of what's happening tonight. If we're not in our usual way, then, you know, it is what it is. What can we say? So people, I'm literally here to basically update you guys. You might have seen on Instagram a little bit about what's been going on in Jamaica. I'm here in Jamaica. I've been traveling. I've been to Africa. I've been to Jamaica. I am in Jamaica and continuing. So that's been going on pretty much since the beginning of the year. I just haven't advertised it. I've had a week here, a week there, 2 weeks there, you know, little bits. You might have known that since the beginning of this year, It's been really, really patchy. I actually don't like this background now. It's starting to annoy me. It's been really, really, really patchy, really patchy. And hey, blessed love, my sister, blessed love. We have got a mod tonight, although I don't think we're going to need it. Blessed love, sis, blessed love. Hope all is well. I've not been in touch with any of the groups, anything. I've just literally had my head down, trying to keep it moving, just literally trying to keep it moving. Let me try and stabilize this picture because it's starting to get on my nerves. It's very strange. Very strange. Not sure we're doing. Oh, it seems to be fine. Put up a one if the picture quality is okay today, guys. Put up a one if the picture it's really not okay for me at the moment at this end. Let me just try it in. Sometimes it helps when you kind of try and change the color behind you, but I don't know, not working. Anyhow, I'm going to just work with it. It is what it is. So guys, listen, as I said, I've been up and down, back and forth, not really shared much of that information for a number of reasons, really. Security being one of them. And just literally, you know, the universe, and you need to keep things under your hat sometimes when we're planning big moves, you know. Let me start with Tanzania. So I've been to Tanzania back, which was great. This is flickering too much. Let me flick to the other background, guys. I don't think the beach is working today on any level, but let's try. I'm going to flip back to the other background. Now that's a little bit better, I think. Maybe not much, but it's a little bit better. It's what we used to. It's better, isn't it? Much better. Right. So, yeah, let's start with Tanzania. Since 2022, 23, we have been involved. When I say we, I don't necessarily mean his time is up. It has evolved into his time is up over there. But we have been involved in terms of the efforts that I make with several groups. I belong to at least 12 different WhatsApp groups across 3 continents. I'm in so many different groups in terms of works. That's what people need to understand, you know. And for so long, with His Time Is Up, my only focus was His Time Is Up. You know, I let a lot of stuff go. I'm in a global artist network called Afua, and that does amazing work over in Ghana. I've had to hit up, you know, my brother Kwaku, who runs that. And just kind of reintroduce myself to that group, because like I literally dropped the ball when His Time Is Up came up with that group, and I was doing quite a lot with that. So there's so many different little bits like that. We've got Ngweze in Tanzania as well. Lots and lots of different groups in terms of Pan-Africanist intervention, effort. You know, blessed love, Grandma Liz. What we're doing across the diaspora, across the planet. And that's been going on for the better part of 15 to 20 years in my life, those types of works, you know. So His Time Is Up came along, and everything, all the focus went into that because it was intense. It needed to go into that. You know, it's not a bad thing at the end of the day. It's what that project actually needed. And it was a project. It was a project to try to get a man to justice. I believe we did that in terms of community justice. Oh, most definitely. But, you know, whoever really put their faith in Babylon justice, it was a wide call. The way that our mindset works, the way that our community is constructed, the way that the police do not do their job, they do not protect us from these people. It was a wide call. I've done the best that I can do in terms of RAT. Now, when it comes on to the women, they need to take it further. I've had a couple of conversations with them since I've been over here. I'm going to have to do something about this picture, but it's coming, guys. It is coming. One thing with me, I'm slow, but I'm sure. Yeah, so I can't do no more. I'm not a victim of Dutty Rat. Apart from the fact that he makes death threats and, puts out stupid videos defaming me for sure, chatting the most poop. He doesn't affect me in any kind of way apart from that. He really doesn't. I think he believes that he affects me more than he does, because he doesn't realize that when I shut my laptop or I put down my phone, he's the least person on my mind. Do you know what I mean? It's only when I get back into the zone of social media and the campaign that I'll switch it on again. But him, I know that his life has changed irrevocably. There's nothing he can say to front it. There's nothing he can say to front it. There is nothing he can do to hide it. He knows that when he bucks up on people in Brixton, as much as he's trying to still kind of reclaim some semblance of his past life, that he knows behind the eyes of those people that they know what they know. If they never knew before, they know now. He knows he's a nonce. You're a dirty nonce. You're a paedophile. We all know it now. You're knocked off your perch, rat, and all the rest of it. And so, they're starting to climb up in my comments because I've been ignoring them. This is what they do. And that was what the focus was about. Let me get back onto that topic and that track. It was about him in the beginning. And then we know it mushroomed and it became about a lot of wrong-uns in our community. But all that diasporan work just had to sideline. The intensity of it, the velocity of it, the speed of it, everything about it required my absolute focus. So in the last couple of years, I'd say since sort of end of 2023, beginning of 2024, maybe, like when I was away last, before this time, away last in terms of Jamaica, I should say, it's been forming in my head, and there's been lots and lots of different things that have gone down. I'm going to tell the full story and kind of give you guys a track of this whole trajectory, what has led us to come full circle. I'm an activist first. That's what people need to understand. I started out that way. Of course, I'm an activist for anything that affects my community, but largely it was around Pan-Africanism. It was around anti-racism. It was around the state of each other, Black relationships, stuff like that, either side. That's my bag. And also, obviously, on a professional level, I was always dealing with survivors of sexual abuse and so on and so forth. So it's something I've always advocated for. It's something that I've always called out and pointed out in our community, but never to this magnitude in terms of the sexual abuse. What took precedence was the Pan-Africanism. What took precedence was the, this thing is starting to really get on my nerves. It's actually worse over here. It's flickering like mad. But the point I'm trying to make is, guys, is that Afua's got to go home. She's got to go home. Afua's coming. When I say go home, I mean figuratively. I will be based in the UK, flicking now, as I always have, between Africa, the Caribbean, and other parts of the diaspora. I'm starting to explore South America, Costa Rica and Brazil in particular. There is a large grouping of our people over there and beyond, Panama and all the rest of it. We need to spread our wings, and that's the direction, that is the trajectory that his time is up is going in, and was always going to go in, to be fair. It started in Africa. It's what people need to remember and understand. It started in Africa. That's where it started. And it has just rolled out, and, because of circumstance and certain issues, if you like, it has become what it is. So I'm just kind of, remembering the roots of it, pulling in the reins a little bit, and just keeping it moving, my people. That's what it's really about. So in 2022-23, as I was saying, in Tanzania, we started to, work in partnership in terms of funding and ideas and whatever around a sustainable village for children, for young people in Tanzania. That is now complete. That's all been done. And I should say, I did offer funding, but I wasn't involved as I would have been involved if I had stayed in Tanzania. But it's complete, it's done, and it's fantastic. And we are definitely going to be launching there in terms of referral, advocacy, support, and sustainability. We're in talks with the Tanzanian government around what that looks like, the programs within that setting, because it's essentially a children's home for orphans. It's an orphanage, is essentially what it is. But the concept of actually bringing in intervention into the, apart from caring for the orphans, is very new to the Tanzanian government. You know, the idea that you might want to develop the children while they're there, apart from school them, teach them how to read and write. You know, they've yet to explore the broader implications of what those young people would have gone through. You know, it's not just orphans, although it's an orphanage. It's not just orphans who attend this orphanage or are taken into this orphanage. It's often young people that are fleeing abuse, poverty, hunger, all sorts of things. So there's a lot of vulnerability there. There's definitely our remit is there in terms of the young people that have experienced abuse. And nobody's trying to stop us. Nobody's trying to call us liars. Nobody's trying to call the young people liars, actually, not whether that's in Jamaica or in Tanzania. Because what struck me when I got here in Jamaica and started to, complete what I've been doing and really, really being intense about what I'm doing, is the fact that there has been a turn in the tide in terms of accountability. There's a lack of victim blaming now. It still goes on, especially in the countryside, in the rural areas, and especially within families, so intergenerationally. You know, that level of abuse, sexual abuse, especially intergenerational sexual abuse, has always sort of stood on its own. It's always been its own special case, if that makes sense, guys. So what I've seen, just in a general way, is the fact that Jamaica is waking up to the urgency of not just femicide, which is a big problem over here, but also the fact that, yes, there is sexual abuse and the young girls do not always lie about this stuff. You know, it's not just instantly blame the victim. So really, they're stepping ahead of us, because I've not seen anything but that on this platform. And to be honest with you, much of it has been from the perpetrators themselves, which we expect, you know, and I've seen a different level of when the perpetrators with Jamaica, because once they're bagged, once they're caught, and the community recognizes that that's what they've done, these people go to ground. They run for their lives because they know what time it is. This lot will make false allegations to the police because they can use the British law system to hide their dirtiness and their wrongs. They'll bring defamation cases. Yeah, they'll form whole armies of troll groups to attack what we're saying. This is what goes on in the UK, and it's absolutely despicable from the black community in our country. It's absolutely despicable. It's been a long time that I couldn't stomach Black England, to be fair. And I am speaking generally. I am speaking about certain pockets and groups and mindsets of people. Yeah, because there are lots of great people in Black Britain who I know personally, who I work with personally on these matters. I'm not saying that, but on a general, I've always said it. I've said it here a million times. We are the most apathetic. Oh my days, this picture quality. We are the most apathetic, yellowback, jellyback, cowardice Negroes in the whole of the diaspora. And I've travelled. So I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. You don't like it, that's your business. That's what I believe. We don't stand for nothing. We don't come together. We allow the system to just wash over us. That's what we've become, because we never used to be this way. We didn't. So I'm tired of it. Not you beautiful people of the His Time Is Up family, of course, but me tired of them. Me tired of them, me tired of them, me tired of them. I'm even tired of some of the sisters that refuse to step out of their fear zone. This ain't the time to be scared now. You have to get that courage, not just for the issues that you have in terms of your childhood, your past or whatever, but right now in this year, Gideon, we've got to develop courage in this time. This is what we have to do as a people, you know? And I don't see it in the UK. I don't see that courage. Even those that say they're of valor. You're right, Hurricane. We are all tired as Black British people. They've done something in the UK to us, you know? There is definitely a spirit that governs the place. And I think I put up a post recently from a young seer who I believe to be genuine, and she definitely resonates with me. And she was actually really breaking it down around the energy that sits over those British Isles, you know? So that's what I believe we're under. I believe that the work is not of one person. And I don't believe that I own it or necessarily. I'm called to it, and wherever the calling takes me with it is wherever I will go. And it's always been that way, because I had no plans to go back to the UK when I got to Tanzania. Absolutely no plans whatsoever. As far as I was concerned, it was bye-bye, dirty England and your pandemic, you know? And we were loving it. We were living our best life in Tanzania. It's still very beautiful. But the call-in came, and the call-in said that I had to go back to the UK for the period of time that I did. And now the call-in says that you need to be fluid. You need to be agile again, as you once were. You know, there was a time when I was highly agile in terms of the works. I was bouncing in and out of the UK very regularly when my older children were smaller, you know, and I was all over the world doing what I do. So that's where I'm going back to. That's where I'm going back to. That's what we're doing. Now, as I said, the children's home is finished, and the proposals for programs and so on are with the right authorities, and will be rolled out. It's just a matter of when, and when they get their acts together and when they're at capacity as well. But yeah, Kawo La Amani Children's Village is where we're going to be working, and that's it. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? That's the work they've done. That's the work we've done. Yeah, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I say we, as a stakeholder that put money there, in terms of from a charitable point of view, a philanthropic point of view, but I've had no other involvement in it whatsoever. I'm not on the planning committee anymore, none of that stuff. So, but look at that. It is 100% sustainable. It has, it's completely off grid. Yeah, it is literally ready for the Gideon. And we need more places like that. We're going to be trying to fundraise for a similar type of structure for children in Jamaica, up in Portland somewhere. And that's definitely work that I'm going to be starting in 2026. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment, people. That's pretty much it, you know? And that's why you haven't heard from me. I said it probably about a year and a half ago. There is going to come a time when we start to transition and move away from the format and the way in which we do this work. There's going to be a day. And it doesn't mean we're going to stop doing stories and we're going to stop doing exposés and call outs. It doesn't mean that. It means that it's going to be more eclectic, and there is going to be less of that and more of the other. We need to balance. I said that a long time ago, you know, a long time ago. Now, the place in Nannyville, let's talk about Nannyville. Like Tanzania, as I said, that's been in the making pretty much since I was there. And it's now come to fruit. A couple of years ago, it went up. It's ready and open for business. It's been open for business. But as I say, the authorities and their ideas around what children need to have has been something that's been hard to kind of navigate. And now we're doing that. So that's what's beautiful about everything, you know. But let's replicate that model. Let's replicate it in Jamaica. What better place than to go to the land of my parents, the land of my ancestors, as well as Africa being the land of my ancestors, and to develop those frameworks and that mindset. I actually started that work in Jamaica in 2005. That's what a lot of people don't know. I was working for the Commission for Corrections. It was under a guy called Major Richard Rees, God rest his soul. And it was the reason that I was able to go and see all of the different prisons in Jamaica. I went to Fort Augusta. I went to Spanish Town Prison Oval. I went to the former GP, which is now called Tower Street. And I went to quite a few prisons in Jamaica on a consultancy basis, because Jamaica was sort of trying to, in 2005, didn't quite get there. It was trying to kind of re-look at its crime and punishment model around incarceration. And obviously, you know, we were already at that stage where we were exploring in the UK around rehabilitation as opposed to crime and punishment, you know? So the two came together. I got a lucky link into Major Richard Rees himself. I pitched him. He loved it. He invited me in to present to the wider personnel. And they wanted to buy it in. When I gave them my price, he went, well, if I pay you dismiss Rose, you'll be earning more than some of the ministers. And so the man said to me, you know, and there was a little bit of to and fro in, and then it just went cold. It fell by the wayside, that kind of thing, you know. So that never got picked up again until very recently, when there was a change in administration, and it's now a sister after Major Richard Rees's tenure and his retirement, and now he's dead. And it's now a sister who is the Commissioner for Corrections. I think she's dusted off the archive somewhere, looking at his old models and the way he did things maybe. And good job I don't change much about myself in terms of personal contacts and stuff like that. So I've been hit up at the right time when I'm already turning the His Time Is Up international antennae over to the Caribbean. I get this hit up and it's like, yeah, come and tell us all about what you were doing in 2005. So that's pretty much what I've been doing here. And a lot else, which I'm going to reveal over time, not all tonight, but I've been doing a lot else as well. And that's what's been happening. So in terms of Nannyville, it was interesting because when I put up a one, if you've not seen the Instagram post about Nannyville and what we're doing in Jamaica at the moment. Nannyville is one of the garrisons in Kingston. And it was actually, Nannyville's important because Nannyville was given to the people of that area. It was built and given to the people of that area by the former Jamaican Prime Minister, Michael Manley. Now, we all like Michael Manley. If you're a PNP, if you're a socialist, you love Michael Manley. Right, I'll show it then. I'll show it, Angor. He gave it to the people and he called it Nannyville because it was to honor the Maroons as well. Nanny as in one of Jamaica's national heroes, Nanny of the Maroons. That's why they called it Nannyville. I step back. Is this going to be better? Oh, it's time to invest in new equipment because this is actually getting to jar me now. It must be jarring you guys as the viewer. I always say I love you guys for sticking with these horrible visuals every week. But don't worry, we're coming. Cool. We're coming soon. And it was called Nannyville. So everywhere you go in Nannyville is named after a Maroon. The whole place is called Nanny Gardens. And everywhere you go, so you've got a Mandingo path, you've got a Shanty path, you've got all these different sort of lanes within the scheme, as they call it. We would call it an estate in London, but they call it a scheme. And you have really great schemes, which are private, gated, swimming pools, and they still call that scheme or a gated community. But it's sort of similar. They're all estates, really. Some are pretty, some are not. That's the way I look at them. But yeah, so Nannyville is important in that regard. And there's a lot of history in Nannyville. There's a lot of conflicts that have happened in Nannyville. There's also a lot of amazing things that have happened in Nannyville. And the area done, Jamaica is run on a system. The area done is the mayor of that area. You might as well call it that. He has absolute control. He funds the area. He funds young people to go to school. He sponsors churches. He does all sorts of stuff like that. And of course, he kills his enemies if they try to breach his garrison. That's the whole point, right, of a garrison, that you're not supposed to breach it. So unless you're invited into those places, you're not able to go in. You can't just go in. Even the police go in, but they go in with caution, So as a stranger, a face that don't fit, and they know every face that fits, believe me. It doesn't matter how big or small those places are. They know every place that fits. So when you go in there, you have to be by invitation, bona fide, article, certified. Otherwise, you're going to be up against a very, very tight gate policy. And if you can't answer certain questions satisfactorily, you will lose your life. These people feel like. So when I put up what we were doing in Nannyville, and I saw some of the comments, I thought, here we go again. This is what it is. This is what I can't take with certain aspects of Black British people. They're so underexposed. They don't travel. You understand? And they say they have their opinions are superior. What do you know? Oh, you've shown a safe house, so it's not safe anymore. Go with your little Babylon mindset because you have no understanding whatsoever. That's absolute bollocks when it comes on to the setup in places like Nannyville. It's the safest place you could be. Advertise it, yes. And then let's see which pussy wants to come and try and breach it. That's their mindset. There's no question of it. Do you understand? Yes, you have certain safe houses, for certain people that are fleeing domestic violence or whatever. And even they're not that secret. It's kind of just a big gate and everybody knows where it is. It's a different mindset. I chose Nannyville because of my links to the place over 30 years and because I know how safe that garrison is. Look up the word garrison. And it just pissed me off. I just thought, typical. And they've always got something to say when they have nothing to say at all. That's why I played my daughter's tune, Let Me Speak. And I actually put up some of the lyrics that resonates with me. Some of it doesn't, about doing chemistry in kitchens and stuff. But she makes a point when she says that. But a lot of that tune is very resonant with me. Let me speak and just stop chat. You old faces stuck up in the 80s, you know? But obviously she's not directing it to anything to do with me. That's her truth. She's talking about something completely different. But those lyrics, those words really resonate with me. And that's why I wanted to play that tonight, because I'm tired of them. Tired of them and they're rubbish. Milton McGowan's on my page tonight, yesterday, I think it was. I can't remember. I saw a comment from him yesterday. Fake page, as always, fake whatever. He says he will probably say it's not him, but of course it was him. Because who else advocates for you, you idiot? Do you know what I mean? And I thought, oh, here they go again. I've just been too quiet. They just want little drama. That's what they want. So, they want drama. This year, October, we're not going to do a His Time Is Up March. What I'm going to try to achieve, and I'm going to fundraise for it, I'm going to try to achieve a concert. I want to see an effort from the artists them in England. That's what I want to see. Put your money where your mouth is. I bump into people all the time. Oh, I feel you're doing really good. I think it's brilliant. Keep it up, keep it up. But none of them supporting the thing, apart from when they see me. Do you understand? And I know a lot of them personally. So put your money where your mouth is. And let's have a, you know, like Free the World. You know when they all got the artists together and it was Michael Jackson and Mick Jagger and this one and that one. Free the world. Wasn't it done for something like I think it was Ethiopian famine appeal or something. And then there was another one after that. So remind me, guys. I'm sure they had two of that. You had Free the World, and then there was another one that was for another cause. But it was where all these feed the world. That's it. Free the world. Feed the world. That's it. Famine. And there was another one. Did they do two? Free Nelson Mandela. That was it. Free Nelson Mandela. Yeah? Free Nelson Mandela. Free Nelson Mandela. Remember, guys? So Live Aid. Right. So why can't we have that in our community for this cause? Let's raise some funds for it. Let's raise some funds so that we can have a similar off-grid, completely sustainable children's home for young people in the islands. Let's do that. Let's start with Jamaica and you know, depending on success, we'll spread it out. And I bet you it does better in the small islands than it does in Jamaica because of our mindset. Because of the way that we don't know how to build for ourselves. We don't know how to pool generational wealth. We don't know how to leave lasting legacy for our children. Yeah? So when these people think that I'm on social media just calling out man's name, they're very wrong. That was never the vision. The vision was to make a change and to leave something sustainable behind. That's what it was. Now it's become so difficult to do that in the UK for so many different reasons. Number one, because I ain't taking these white people's funding. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the powers that be's funding. I meant it in 2020 when I said it, and I mean it in 2025 saying it again. Men, I'll take their money. That would just cancel me as far as I'm concerned as a Pan-Africanist. So we've been batter going through pretty much on my money with the little 1 and 2 donations that we get through, trickling through along the way. That's how we've been going on. But there is so much more opportunities for this across the waters in our lands. So much more. We'll fund it. Governments will fund what we do. Do you understand? Because they're dying for it. They're dying for that awareness to be brought to the people. Yeah? And it is genuine. There's no agenda behind it. Unless you see these people as the puppeteers behind our governments, there's no agenda behind it. So we're very strategic and very careful about who we work with, where we work, and how it is that we want to roll this thing out. But it's time, people. It's time not just for His Time Is Up, but it's time for us as a British diasporan African people to get our together. We really, really do. You understand? We ain't got nothing going on in the British Isles. Nothing going for we. And those of us that believe there is are going to get a very rude awakening very, very, very soon. Thank you, Miss Hurricane Toya. Hurricane says if they can all do rhymes, on AG's online, then they can do it for us. I don't lie. It can do rhymes, innit? Because they don't get paid for that, do they? Right. Let's see where the money is and where the mouth is. I already know the people that will show up. And I know the people that will make excuses. But we're going to try and do that. Let's have it static. Let's have it in the square, as always. Because you know that he always tells us we can't come back to the square. Apparently, he even had a go, or tried to have a go, one of my brethren from Brixton, who I attended his mother's funeral in Brixton earlier on this year. And apparently Rat had found out about it and tried to throw a word on the man. The man threw a word back and said, this person had come back to say, oh, he said this. And my brethren said, tell him for him. I can't even say it on there. And that was that. Who do you think you are? You don't own Brixton. You terrorize Brixton. You're an idiot. Total idiot. He needs feeding, innit, people? So I'm going to feed him tonight, little piece. Because I know it was one of his works or somebody. They're all in the same cabal, as far as I'm concerned. They've all contacted each other. They're all in the same cabal. In groups, in factions, or all together. That's what's going on. So I know it was one of them that put a death threat in about how I'm going to be head topped in Jamaica. Really? This is why I had to get a couple of the dog them. And that's only a couple of the dog them. You understand? The real killing them, those people don't come on camera. And they were actually, some of them behind me and some of them round the corner. So certain people went on. I said, nah, you and you, that'll be enough. Like, don't want to send them too crazy. Because it would have been a bugger man with things on their faces. Crowd behind me. Yeah, let's keep it a little bit more calm. But you saw what you saw. And that is really what you saw. There's no fronting. This isn't Snapchat. This isn't England, where people that put that kind of energy out when they don't really mean it. People in Jamaica don't really do that. Why are they going to be doing that? No one chooses a lifestyle like that in Jamaica. They really don't. That's what I love. It's same in Africa. No one chooses to be a bad man. You do that because you are in a poverty and that's how you've been grown. It's as simple as that. And they don't joke. Thank you, Angor. They really don't. What my brethren was saying, the one with the beard, the grey, yeah, and don't think because you see him grey, he's an old man or not, or he ain't a man that is cool, because he really is, yeah, and he's one of the older ones as well. He's one of the ones that's to be respected and heard. So, he was what he was saying about the pit is real. There is a pit, and if you go down in there and get thrown down in the there, nobody not gonna find you. You're gonna run down to the bottom. It's not a lie. These things aren't fronting. That's what these people don't need to understand. As far as I know, the one rat ain't even travelled since he came over on the Windrush. As a Windrush picnic. He ain't even travelled since then. You can't travel. Maybe he's one of those that would have been caught up in the scandal if he tried to travel and they never let him come back. Because I think he's one of them. I don't think his papers has ever been sorted. To put up a one, those of you that know of Vincent Rat that's ever known the man to travel, because I ain't never known him to travel, you a grounded Negro. That's who you are. Trying to terrorize one little portion of the masses' house. You're an idiot. You don't even get out much. Do you know what I'm saying? Who's this guy? Who's this guy, man? What a clown. Sending out death threats. So I had to show him, you think you got links in Jamaica to go on with nothing around me? And no one's knowing where I'm staying in Jamaica. I'm not staying in Nannyville. I'm doing what I'm doing in Nannyville in terms of community works. I'm all over Jamaica. All over. Catch me if you can. I'm that active. Do you understand? I jump in my car, keep it moving. My parents came back in 1993. We have everything we need in a Jamaica. Jamaica is second home. We have everything we need in a Jamaica. You understand? Car, yard, land, links, protection, everything we need in a Jamaica. So I don't know why these people think they can breach that wall. I am vulnerable in England, if anything. Do you understand? Especially since they found out my business address, which still is my business address. But I don't have no fear. I stride into there. I get my letters. I do what I have to do when I have to do it. I stay there and I do my work. It is like that. You don't know where I live, though. You don't know where I put my child at night. No, you don't. Yeah, but I'm still vulnerable. Every single time I step out my door and take myself out, whether that is on a train or out in a supermarket, guaranteed for that week, if I do it, at least 2 to 3 people would have approached me to say, you're Afua Rose, I love what you're doing. It's always been friendly fire, though, funnily enough. Maybe the frenemy enemies, ops, or whatever, just kind of look at a distance and don't say nothing, but they never try nothing. Maybe it's that. Or maybe they're just few and far between and we actually know who they are most of the time. But it's a very unsettling feeling and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't. But what was interesting when I was flying out, first to Tanzania and then to Jamaica, I've seen God about 5 people on this whole journey that I've been on in the last few weeks. coming up to me in the airports. I'm like, you can't hide. What the Ross? You can't hide. This is why you just have to do what you do, Afua, and that is walk with God. That is it. Because my head back could be getting licked from any angle in these situations, I'm thinking to myself. Do you know what I mean? But they've all been friendly fire, coming up, hugging, you know, really, really carrying on. And it's like, okay, fine. Like, that's great. I mean, I'm always a bit like, because I'm a person I like, you know, I'm quite private. If I'm on the screen, I'm on the screen. But once I'm off it, I don't really want you in my face. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it is. But I've been polite and I've been receiving, and it's been great. But what it shows me is as well is that you need to widen this thing out. You need to affect the rest of the diaspora in the way that you know that you ought to. So that's what we're doing, people. It's pretty much what we're doing. Let's just take some of the comments. What does Ango say? Afua, I can tell you that the other islands have the same issues. Oh God, yeah. They're just more Jamaicans. My daughter was in Grenada recently and she was like, man, they're so sexualized. Hey girl, you're right. I can't even do the accent. But she was killing me. She was so funny. Beautiful, just like Jamaica. But and you know, she enjoyed the nature and everything. But she said the men predatory or what? I said to her, I told you, because I did say to her, if you think Jamaican men are bad, go and deal with some of the small island man. Them just tusty all day long. They are, you know, just tusty all day long. I lie, Miss Hurricane Toy. You know that Dominique and St. Lucian man. Talk of it. They're on it again. And let's not even talk about Trini. Let's not talk about the Trini. They always give Yardman a bad name, but Trini, them terrible. And you can only know it as a woman. Solomon Wilson says, "Big up, Sister Afua, Anunnaki." Yes, the Anunnaki. You don't know, my brother. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Ah, bless you. I just realized you said it's solved by me. Big up, Sister Afua, Anunnaki mathematician equation solved by you. Blessing love, my brother. We are the Anunnaki, bro. It's our ancestors. It's our time. The ancestors are coming in. I'm not teaching you guys to suck eggs. We all watch the same media and the same news. But my goodness, if you don't have the lens and you can't tune in and you can't see the writing on the wall, then Evan El Uno in a demia time. That's all I've got to say to Uno. Like my mom used to say, she used to say, Denise, broke up your folly ground. Denise, broke up your folly ground. You know, I was a little bad girl and I wanted to do things my way. And my mom used to say, broke up on a folly ground. And that's kind of what I'm saying to my people, you know, because as much as it's a bit like Marcus Garvey when he used to admonish us. And he would say, you race of cowards, you race of imbeciles. If you would just get yourself together, you could get back to your greatness, you know? And this is how I feel about my people. I'm sore with Black Britain right now because I'm just like, get it together. We've been preaching for 30-odd years of just my time, much less those that came before me. And still, you lot are descending into a madness? What the hell is going on? So, me tired of no. Tired of no. I care how you talk. I care how you talk. Right, sis, right. There's work to be done elsewhere, you know? We're too stiff-necked, man. Even the Bible tells us that we are stiff-necked people. Tells you that in the Old Testament. You're a stiff-necked set of Ethiopians. And that is what we are. But a lot of us, you know, our people, again, scripture, our people die through want of knowledge because they don't know themselves. A lot of us in the diaspora, per se, but particularly in Black Britain, do not know themselves. We are so far gone in terms of assimilation in the UK. So far gone, you know? And assimilation isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing necessarily. But the way we assimilate, my goodness, the British Asians don't assimilate to that degree. British Chinese don't assimilate to that degree. But we really, truly are our mass as children. And we have assimilated. And when I say we, I mean specifically Black British Caribbeans. We really are the children of the slaves. Because when you look at Black Nigeria, or British Nigerian, or you look at British Ghanaian, they've not assimilated to the same degree either. They still have their culture. Ours was ripped away from us. We need to recognize that and get back to where we're coming from. That's all it is, you know? But you still get some dinosaurs. I've even got some in my family. that will still use the term bubble. Oh, no, you can't tell me nothing. I ain't going to whatever. You know, Jamaica's beautiful. I love it to the, oh my God, to the core of my being, you know? And there is nothing wrong with resting in Jamaica either. But we have to recognize that it is a halfway point. We were brought there as a halfway point. And ultimately, when the real trumpet sounds, Jamaica will not be a safe place. And I keep telling them over here, will not be a safe place. It is a tiny island next door to America, literally. As America sneeze it, catch cool. You understand? And it's also a strategic asset of America's. And now China owns Port Authority. It owns the port. What were you thinking, Brogard? What were you thinking, Andrew Onis? China owns the port. So we're a sitting duck in a global conflict right now. And it looks like global conflict is definitely escalating and going into World War III. So what do you think we're going to do? What do you think we're going to do? It's a halfway point in Jamaica. You have to plot your route out, and all roads, biblically, spiritually, economically, practically, lead to Africa. That's the end of it. Pick where you like in Africa. It's a huge continent, but all roads lead to Africa. Ultimately, eventually, they will lead to Africa. But until then, my people, you know, my thing would be to say is to just try to plot your way out of the Gideon into one of your lands. If the start is that you go back to where your parents came from, then let it be that for you. You know, my thing is about globetrotting. You need to get a base in many places across the Caribbean and across Africa. You know, especially if you're moving, especially if you're looking to just sit down and just relax and just go off grid somewhere and just be nice, then yeah, pick a spot, innit? But for me, it needs to be a little bit like the Underground Railroad, you know? If you know, you know what I'm trying to say. Solomon Wilson says, I man give myself a new name about 3 months ago on my TikTok account. The police. Baba Anunnaki. Laugh out loud. I love it. I love it as well. Baba Anunnaki. Yeah, I looked at Angora. I'm looking into them as well. But you know what? We know it's like Ibrahim Traore tells us, they're all controlled by the same people. So Brogan is going out. He's never going to come back. Everybody hates him. The new guy is the white dude, and nobody's feeling that to go back to them days, like with Edward Siaga and the rest of them. But at the same time, policy-wise, and if you're a staunch PMP, then you might have to vote for him. And the UIC, a lot of people are unsure about in Jamaica. A lot of the youth are into that. I was like, you know what? I feel like somebody needs to do it in Ibrahim Traore over in Jamaica and just wipe it all out, because we know that is the Yankee man's playground, and we know that China owns practically all of it right now, roundabout now. We really do. We know that's what's going on. So you know, our Afua says Salamu Namaste, which is obviously Buddhist, but you said Salamu. Salamu is what we say in Tanzania, in Swahili. Salama, Salamu, Habaragani, you know, Poa. There's so many different greetings in Tanzania. Tanzania is so beautiful, man. It's such a beautiful, peaceful place. It's so beautiful. You know, you kind of go and you come back and you realize just what you've left. Do you know what I mean? It's such a beautiful place. It really, really is. And my heart is there as well. But like I said, Marcus Garvey said, Africa for the Africans at home and abroad, the fullness thereof, because it doesn't matter where we trod on the planet, whether that is in South America, as I said, in Costa Rica, which I'm going to soon, or it is in wherever, Venezuela, it doesn't matter, Brazil, Brasileiro, Europe, the America, Caribbean, it doesn't matter where in the diaspora it is. We are a broad people. They scattered us. They didn't really know what they were doing when they did that. You know, you just gave us more dominion over the planet. Not that we weren't there already. You guys need to read a book called They Came Before Columbus by Chancellor Williams. That will really give you an insight into the presence of African peoples in ancient places and civilizations before everybody else got there and turned the way they did. So it's very interesting stuff. I did say last year as well, we're going to do a whole different day on this channel, which is dealing with all of this. It won't be dealing with the matters of His Time Is Up. That's a Friday slot. We're going to be coming with Shoot the Breeze with Afua. And it's going to be kind of more of this, guys, and a little bit more panel, a little bit more discussion, experts coming on, that kind of stuff. We're going to start all of that. And that is where we're going to be able to showcase the works, really. I'm going to do that as a members, to be fair, because I just don't want the interference and their rubbish coming in. I'm going to start doing that as a members when it does come out. And if you're on it, you're on it. If you're not, you're not. Is that Amharic as well? Well, that makes sense because they cross over. Oh, so that's Selam Nu. But you see the linguistic and etymological connection, our Asfar. You know, you see it because it's right across. If you really want to explore that type of thing, there's a brother called Sheikh Anta Diop, which some of you might know about, and he does a lot of work around that. Where he kind of takes the languages that were spoken in ancient Egypt and, you know, kind of linguistically links them through etymology and different things. And he linguistically links them to the Wolof people of Senegal and different tribes. And you can make the links. And incidentally, he's the guy that also created carbon DNA testing, not for crime, but for testing the melanin content in the mummies, to prove that they were black. That's why he invented it. His research, bless him, he died in 1985, but his research was suppressed by the University of Paris. His thesis was suppressed for how many, 30 odd years, until his death in 1985, when they released his thesis and allowed it to be translated into English. Can you bloody imagine? So there's so much work out there, so much stuff. People just need to go and look and learn to read. Because we do have, as slave people, that old adage which says, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. There's some truth in that. There really is for us. Because we seem to be adverse to a book. And I see it more acutely when we come home. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when you go into the countryside here in Jamaica. People just go learn that trade. Like, it's a problem. If someone says they want to go uni, now you can't make no money from that. That's a real mindset for us. So we need to fix up and we need to do our thing. I'm going to put the link out as is customary. And then I'm going to jump off. I think we'll make it up to the hour, which is about right. Brilliant. But that's our plans. And that's why I've been so quiet the whole year. And I've literally just started to showcase what we're doing pretty much. But I've been on it the whole last 2 years. Consistently. Getting my stuff together and on my own, pretty much, people, on my own. I'm going to talk about stuff going forward in terms of why I felt I needed to do that on my own, but we're not going to do that tonight. There's the link. Jump on if you want to jump on. Comment if you want to comment. If not, I'm going to pack it up pretty soon. I saw on social media the other day of another march in London for Ibrahim Traore. So that was really encouraging. I thought that's brilliant. The first march was really good. And we could see people still keeping that up. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to really come together as a community because there's some challenges ahead. There really is. And as a community, we are not going to survive with each other and be able to keep each other safe as we have in days of old, unless we sort out our differences and we sort out our egos. That's what we need to do as a people. We do. And we need to do it in Britain as well. We do. So that's what it is, people. I don't think anyone's going to jump on. I'm probably going to waffle and take it up to the absolute hour. Let's do that anyway, you know. But yeah, man, it's been really good to be able to just come out of the vibration of London, of England, full stop. The dead vibration. And that vibration that kind of holds you down in the winter months, that you know, it takes you time. I'm hearing it's really hot over there at the moment, which is fantastic. That's great, you know, and we like that. It's looking like it's piping up to be quite a good summer over there. I just hope it lasts for when I get back. But you know, we come out of it and like the creatures, we come out of hibernation, and there's that little kind of lull around Easter, and we slow. And just as we're just getting our mojo back, it's autumn, and we sink into the madness all over again. You know, sink into the madness all over again. So we need to kind of turn that around, is what I'm trying to say, people. We absolutely need to turn it around. And we've got to do something. You know, my father had a mantra. He used to say, no, put on the roots, yes, sir. Because he never did. My parents, their model was different. They were Windrush people for sure, certainly of that age group and generation. But they were one of the last trickles to come in because my father had no plans whatsoever to come to the UK. None. He wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in leaving his sweet Jamaica to go anywhere. He comes from a large sibling group. His siblings had gone off to America, England, and different places in the hype and the rush that everybody was going over there on. And my dad was like, no, it was not until my grandfather died, and my father was very, very close to him, that he just lost heart. And he said, sod it. Let me just follow one of my brother there and go to England. And then he went there. Things start to set up. Him sent for my mother. He got there in 67. Sent for my mum in 68. By then, they'd already had 5 kids out in Jamaica anyway, and married and everything. Sent for my mother in 68. And then I was born in 69. So they wasted no time. Yeah, no time whatsoever in getting it together. So my dad comes 67. My mum is sent for in 68. She has me in 69. 71, we go back down. I go back down with my mum for her to file for the children. And they come up in 72. And my little brother's born in 73. And by 93, 20 years later, my parents had retired back to yard. So I really congratulate my mum and dad, and they were staunch Pan-African, Garveyite-minded people. I have heard of Bibix Forsyth, murder due to the cover-up Hurricane Toya. Remember, I've discussed him on here quite a few times, sis. Don't know if you recall. But yeah, that's a tragic story. We might cover that again, because I have talked about him quite a bit, especially in the early days. Oh, thank you, Miss Carol. Oh, I know, Miss Carol. I do know. But I do get frustrated as well. I get impatient and I get frustrated. And I do know. I know. I don't. And look, sometimes it's not even about strength. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I've just always been a risk taker. My kids would say, "Dad, you're just taking risks." No, my kids actually. My big daughter, she's staunchly from day one. My big girl has staunchly been against his time is up. Why can't someone else's mum do it? Why have you got to do it? Why is it my mum's got to be effing Angela Davis? And I'm like, but you've always known me as Angela Davis, babes. And she's like, I know, but why is it my mum? And she gets really upset. Me and Blue kind of go, oh my God, bless her. She's very sensitive. But she gets really upset, and you can't blame her. You cannot blame her. But I do laugh sometimes because she's just got a different heart, And I get it, my sister Carol. I get it, Miss Carol. I really, really do. But boy, it's a time ago. That's all I'm saying. And not necessarily to do with his time is up. Time is going in general. And on that note, time is also going for me. We're at 101:30. And that's good enough for me, guys. You're not going to join the link. There's nothing really to join about, really. And next week, look out for the bulletin. Look out. I'm definitely turning my head. I've cleared a lot of lines. I've done a lot of stuff, but I'm turning my head to a case that's been kind of sitting with me for a while that really needs to roll out now. And we're kind of completing the investigations around that this week. So look out for that face this week on the Wall of Shame. It deserves to be there. And we're going to hear from that sister live and direct next week, right here on Afua Speaks Community Conversations. Guys, blessed love. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day and the sunshine. I think it's night time over there. What time is it here? Yeah. What time is it, guys? About 10 o'clock for you guys. But yeah, blessed love, my people. That's the update. That's what we're doing. And when we come back, we are going to be fundraising for the His Time event, His Time is Up event 2025 in Windrush Square in a different format. And I'll be talking more about that as well. There are links in this bio in this description for if you want to donate via PayPal. You can use the email that's there, or you can donate via the usual I'm getting all forgetful. Oh my God, this menopause brain. The usual GoFundMe link, which was set up by our wonderful sister Sean. So guys, I'll see you guys next week right here at 9 p.m. As always, stay blessed, and I love you lots. Take it easy, people. Blessed love.